Will you marry me?
Of course, yes.
Gino Palazzo popped the question to his complicated lover Jasmine Pineda, but that does not mean they should jump right into marriage, because there are quite a lot of red flags. Jasmine's jealousy. Sorry, Gino, under Jasmine's rules, you can't speak to any other women besides herself, let alone tip them. After Gino arrived in Jasmine's hometown of Panama, it took no time at all for 90 Day fans to understand just how wild her trust issues are. Gino took Jasmine out to eat as normal couples do, but the idea of having a female waitress did not sit so well with Jasmine when it was time for the bill.
You're paying the first day.
When Gino went to tip the woman, Jasmine quickly told him not to. But when Gino disagreed and said,
She was good.
Jasmine quickly snapped.
You have something with the waitress.
Let's just say Gino quickly understood how the rest of his time in Panama was going to go. Jasmine is controlling. Between Gino and Jasmine, it is quite clear who is the boss in this rocky relationship. Even before Gino arrived in Jasmine's hometown, she would boss him around when it comes to finances. But now she's even giving him chores. Gino already pays for Jasmine's apartment despite him not living in it, but he even cleans it now too. Jasmine shared this reshared clip to Instagram where she thought it was pretty ironic that she was cleaning the apartment for once. Gino admits that he is the one that does all the cleaning. This is not the only time Jasmine has been controlling over Gino's lifestyle. I mean, how could we forget when Jasmine freaked out over Gino's wall colors? Jasmine was absolutely floored when she saw that Gino still had his walls painted with the colors he picked out with his ex. She used some pretty vulgar language to let him know he needed to burn everything he had in his life belonging to his ex.
Tell me that he likes the color and that they pick the colors together knowing that I get mad at them.
Maybe a bit extreme, huh? Gino's attachment to his ex. Even though Gino has been split from his ex for quite some time, she certainly comes up in conversation quite a lot. Gino's ex was similar to Jasmine because she was also flown out to the US on a K-1 visa. So, Gino compares the two relationships a lot, which does not sit well with Jasmine. In last week's episode, Jasmine completely freaked out on Gino after she did some Instagram lurking and discovered Gino's ex-wife still uses his last name after being divorced for about 8 years. Gino explained that there is nothing he can do about that, but Jasmine certainly did not hold back her feelings about his ex-wife.
I don't give a That last name is now mine.
Jasmine gets physical. Jasmine has certainly showed off some pretty serious anger issues throughout this season, but it has actually gotten to the point of being physical. After finding out Gino went behind her back sharing her private info, Jasmine got into a huge screaming match with him.
Why were you sharing something so personal?
Her anger continued to get worse and worse to the point that production had to stop Jasmine from trying to hurt Gino. But don't worry, Jasmine still was sure to get her point across, all while breaking her vocal cords.
That was part of my privacy!
And did I mention this all happened before Gino decided to propose? Yikes. Gino regrets spending money. From lip injections to Botox, Gino certainly has put his money into Jasmine. But maybe it has gone a bit too far? Gino works as an automotive engineer but was laid off due to the pandemic, which also left Jasmine unemployed. But this did not stop Jasmine from requesting money from him. After finding out he had a past as a sugar daddy, spending lots of money on vacations and clothes on women. So despite being laid off, he even started paying for her to live in a brand new, expensive apartment. But he seems to be regretting it. He said, "The amount of money I'm going to be helping Jasmine with her apartment is a lot of money for me right now because I'm not working." But Jasmine does not seem to care. I mean, how could we forget when she got mad over him buying her a toothbrush for Christmas?
It's your turn.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Jasmine gets a cheap engagement ring. Oh, Jasmine, you are just so hard to please, aren't you? After all of the screaming fits and drama in Panama, Gino somehow still decided to get down on one knee. But this was not up to Jasmine's fairy tale standards. Jasmine has very bougie taste and prefers more expensive clothes and food. So this lifestyle also includes an expensive engagement ring. When Gino proposed to Jasmine, the ring he picked was a whopping $270.
So was it 250?
270.
270.
So of course 90 Day fans were nervous to see Jasmine's reaction. But it was surprisingly sort of positive. She shared to her IG story that the fact that he came all those miles to Panama makes up for the fact that it is cheap. Invasion of emails. Jasmine has made it pretty clear that she is quite the social media sloth when it comes to stalking Gino's ex-lovers. but she may have taken it a bit too far. After Gino admits to giving money to women in the past, Jasmine is not so sure that he has changed his ways and demands to read through his emails.
But I'm super smart and good at technology, Gino. So, if he has been lying to me, I'll figure it out.
Did someone say unhealthy? Jasmine ended up finding out that Gino went on a trip to Legoland with another woman. But this trip was 6 years ago, so there is really no reason for Jasmine to get upset. But of course, the idea of Gino even talking to another woman before meeting her makes her heated. Gino's demands. Sure, Jasmine sets some strict rules in her and Gino's relationship, but she is not the only one to do so. Gino's controlling side has come out quite a few times on the show, specifically revolving around her choice in clothing. Jasmine has revealed on her Instagram that Gino has stopped her from wearing specific outfits on the show, which is pretty ironic considering he had no problem sharing her private photos, but we will get into that. She posted a few photos on her story wearing a few different dresses that she looked gorgeous in, but her captions say that Gino did not let her wear them on the show. So I wonder what other aspects of her life Gino is trying to control behind the camera. Starting a family. One huge red flag we see in every 90-day relationship is the topic of children. Jasmine has already had children in her past, but Gino is passionate about starting a family with her. Jasmine is still not so sure about having kids with Gino and even admitted to him that she is still on birth control despite him thinking they were ready for kids. Talk about shady. Gino was definitely sad that Jasmine had been keeping this secret from him, but Jasmine does agree that at some point in the future she will change her mind. So that is a good start, I guess. Gino goes behind Jasmine's back. Here we go, the fight that I thought would break the two up. Gino and Jasmine have both had their own shady moments and lies throughout the show, but Gino took it too far this time. Jasmine claimed she received a message from one of Gino's former girlfriends on Instagram, proving that Gino had sent her Jasmine's private photos, if you know what I mean. Not only does Gino claim he has no idea what she is talking about,
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not do that.
but once Jasmine showed him the literal screenshotted proof, his response is not so good.
I was showing her, look how hot my girlfriend is.
Sorry, Gino, have to take Jasmine's side on this one and say that your excuse is not making this any better. Jasmine seemed to have lost Gino's trust completely as she looked very heartbroken. And this conversation, of course, is what blew up into their huge screaming fight. Prenup. Oh, Gino, you really like to move things quickly, don't ya? Gino's goals when visiting Panama was to propose to Jasmine and get her pregnant. And he is already set to ask her about a prenup. On the preview for the next episode of 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days, Gino shared that he was pretty nervous about asking Jasmine to sign a prenuptial agreement. But many fans found this a bit amusing, considering the only asset Gino seems to need to protect is the toothbrush he could afford to buy Jasmine for Christmas. Considering he's already thinking about divorce before even getting married, boy, do I look forward to seeing Jasmine's reaction to this one. Do you think Gino should have waited to propose to Jasmine, or do you think these two will somehow leave their problems in the past? Because after seeing all of these red flags, I am not so sure. But be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments section and subscribe to The Things Reality for even more 90 Day Fiancé.